Growing up, my mom took my brothers and I to church. My dad always worked on Sundays, so it was always her making us go to church. She didn't make me, but I really wanted to. I enjoyed youth, and my friends went. And as I became an adult out on my own, I wasn't a regular church attender, but my mom still continued to go to the church that I grew up in. Once my husband and I started coming to Blue Ridge, I knew that she would love it here, so I invited her, and she's been coming ever since. I had no idea at that time how God would bring us closer together. Sherry Burkholder and I, we started a Bible study on Monday nights, and my mom signed up. I thought, oh my goodness, I was a little intimidated, not only because some of the women that were coming were older and more wiser than I, but it was my mom, and I thought, oh goodness, I'm not worthy to lead a Bible study. It should be her up here, not me. But during these Bible studies, my mom and I's relationship grew even stronger and closer. She has always been there for me. She's always been a positive influence in my life. She's always loving and kind. She's always giving advice, even when the advice isn't something that you might want to hear. But during these Bible studies, I got to learn a whole lot more about my mom and her heart for Christ. One thing I love about my mom is that she's got a really tender heart. Everyone that knows her knows that it doesn't take much for her to cry. In fact, look at her right now. I'm sure she's crying. Love you, Mom. But she has a strong faith. And that comes from a childhood where you really wouldn't think so, because you don't show your emotions. She was taught not to cry when you were hurt. You had to be strong. When you experience loss, you don't show your emotion. You just you're strong and you move forward through the trials of life, but you just keep going. But what I've seen in her over the past few years is I believe she's experienced a freedom that God has given her. Through the ups and downs, she's ministered to other women who have gone through some of the same things that she has. She's looked for others to smile at and to provide advice to. She's always there for everyone else, and I try to be there for her. One thing I think about that's kind of funny with my mom is, I really felt like God was leading me to pray out loud in my Bible studies, and here I am facilitating a Bible study and I don't pray out loud at the end. How crazy is that? So I prayed about it, and I felt like this one Monday night, God was really leading me to pray. So I did. I started praying out loud, and in the middle of my prayer, all I hear over to my right is my mom going, and I thought, oh dear, she's crying, and it's because I'm praying out loud, and she's crying. She had no idea. And so in the middle of my prayer, I'm like, okay, God, my mom's crying now. And I said that out loud, and everybody kind of laughed, and I had to get myself back together and not cry and finish the prayer. And so at the end of that, we all kind of had a good laugh, and she's like, I had no idea, and she's never heard me pray before. But I love that about her. I've learned also from my mom that life experiences make you stronger. I've learned how to be there for my daughter as she grows up. And I see how difficult it is to be a mom. I talk to her sometimes about raising my children, and I'm sure in her head she's going, yes, honey, I know, because I did the same thing when I was a child. But she's demonstrated to me the love that a mom should have for their children and how to extend grace to others. I've learned also from my mom that during the hardest times of our lives, it's okay to cry. It's okay to have tears and experience the raw emotions that God has created us to have. I'm so thankful for my mom and our relationship, and I'm very grateful. Love you, Mom.